Hi guys, if it's Friday, it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Okay guys, today's going to be a super quick and super easy one. You know these squirrel cookers? And you know what I'm talking about. These camp forks. These are something for you to stick a piece of meat on and put it over the fire. And I've got this one trussed up pretty good at the moment. But the bottom line is they're a great tool to have, but you notice those points sticking up? They're hard to carry. So just like an axe needs a sheath to go over it, you need to make a cover to cover this. Now it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It can simply be something like I'm about to show you. Something down and dirty and easy. Now if you want to be fancy, yes, a piece of heavy block of leather that will fit between with a clamshell that comes over and then snaps down here at the bottom, that would be great. But to do that, I need to have everything in the right place, right? Well, I'm going to take and make me a carrier to carry my squirrel cooker with me and not have to worry about that harpooning into something. Now this is one I got from Dan Lutz that we called it the Sasquatch cooker because it is such a big heavy one. But today I'm going to make it for the much smaller packable one that I've got that I made a long time ago in Rendezvous. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, first off, you got them two wicked tines right there. I need something that'll cover them and keep that point from harpooning through. Now the other end is relatively blunt, so I can slide this into a bedroll, but that point, okay. And you remember that trick I showed of taking my blanket and wrapping it up on my haversack strap so it's in the middle of my back? I've slid this down into that before with some sort of cover for that, but even then that's kind of dangerous. So I need something that I can be utilizing. So I'm going to use a pen body, an old writing pen that's giving up the ghost. All I'm going to do is pull it apart right quick to have the tube. And whenever I pull that apart, I'm going to cut it in half, and so each of these sections are going to sit down over it. So let me cut this to length and I'll be right back with you. Now, how do you take the pen apart? Most time you can just grab the writing end and twist and it will come off. If not, you may have to grab it with a pair of pliers and twist, but it's just friction fit. Now how long? I want to take it where I sit the tine in there, and so that goes all the way so it bottoms out. So, and I want to come above that, so giving myself like 1/8 of an inch beyond the tip of that, because I don't want that point to stick through. I'm going to come up here and mark it with my thumbnail right there. And now I'm going to take my Swiss Army knife saw and I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to make 2 of those. Okay, now let me show you the technique. I'm going to slide the tube over the tine so I can look through. This one's clear enough and tell where it is. And I'm going to go to my pre-measured place in front of it, like this. Now I'm going to take my saw and put it there, and holding it in place with my hand firmly down, I'm going to draw the blade, just like that. Rotate it, draw it. Rotate it, draw it. So I'm scoring it all the way around, see? My fingers are way clear of this blade, so I'm not going to inadvertently saw myself. It just snaps off, just like that. So now I've got 2 sticking up that are safe to utilize. Next we're going to come up with a filler to go between them, and that I'm going to use cardboard. So I'm going to get up here and I'm going to figure out roughly how far apart. Right about there. And I'm going to fold it. This is just a piece of heavy corrugated cardboard, and I want it to just about slide in there. In fact, I do want it to kind of slide, but not so much that forces them apart. I don't want it too loose. I'm going to tape this, and so that when I push it on, I want it to kind of force it out. So when I tie it, it's not only just sitting over there, it's sort of a tension holding it on there. Okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it, click, fold it back the other way, click, like that. So I doubled it up almost. One more time, taking that edge, folding it, roll it around. So now I got that thick, and I'm going to cut that off. Okay, now I've got my folded up, and it will go right between them like that. Okay, I'll cut this off in a minute. I want to put it up there like that with everything bottomed out, and I'm going to go around with my duct tape and secure it good and tight so it will slide on and off as one unit. Once I get it good and firm, somebody's load of pipe didn't make that turn too good, didn't it? I got a canny road that makes a loop around my property up there. This time of the evening, everybody's trying to race home and etc. And somebody sounded like they had a load of pipe and didn't make it. Hear it cussing a little bit, I know that they're off the side of the road picking up pipe. But put it up there like that, and I'm going to go around, I'm going to tape it. I'll cut this length off in a minute. Now, I've stuck my duct tape onto the cardboard. I'm now going to put my cardboard so it runs down on either side and holds those tubes. Okay? Now, squeezing the tubes tight, I'm going to go all the way around with that duct tape, pulling that duct tape good and tight as I go. Just like that. Now that stays on there, but it slides off too, and yet it's easy for me to re-thread that and put it back in there. If it's too broad, it wants to go wide. And I want that. I want to have to squeeze it a little bit. So I pull it off, I put one tine in, and I have to squeeze that other end just a little bit, and it goes right on. But when I let go, that cardboard wants to spring out, so it's like a spring tension. Now I'll cut off the excess length. Okay, now I've got the cap for it. I'm going to pull it off, push down the tape all the way, squeeze, slide it in there, just like that. But now I want to make that tie onto this, and I'm going to take a piece of bank line, and I'm going to come over the top to tie it to this. So I've got two ties to tie to the underside of this. Okay, this is going to be the end that I'm going to put the fork into. So I will now come from the other end. I will put the cord over and I'll kind of squeeze it on the bottom to snug it up, and I'll take me a piece of duct tape and I'll go over the top to help hold that in place. This is just a super simple cover, just like that, touching down all the loose ends. Okay. Now, I'm going to take and tie a square knot right here. I've done this for big, sharp objects before. I've done it for axes, I've done it for machetes, I've done it for kitchen knives, or whatever. Just a simple piece of cardboard to protect me so I don't end up getting stuck. Because trust me, I've put things into packs before and had things magically find a way to move into a position that was dangerous. Okay, now I've got that. Now, what I'm going to do is I take, notice how I've left where I can see the two tubes. Okay, I can set my tines up there, put one in, and I have to squeeze by pressing in for it to fit. When I slide it all the way down there, it spreads out. Now I've got these two ends that I can tie underneath this fork to keep from sliding off by itself, and that's very simple to do. Quick twist, pull through twice and pull it, and that bank line will bite to itself like that. So now I have a cover to put on it. So now whenever I slide it down into my bedroll or whatever, that's got protection on me, because those tubes are actually longer than the actual tines. So if I hit it, it's going to take a pretty good amount of pressure to make it harpoon through, and that cardboard spacer in the middle is giving even more resistance. So yeah, if I fell off of a roof and fell on it, yeah, but then again it could be just a blunt piece and it would hurt me. But it's something that touches me or gets a little pokey is not going to kill me now. Okay, and that meat fork would have done it. Now I can go and make one for my big fork as well, so I can carry this into something. So this makes it a better piece of gear for me. And so now on my Blackbird 2, I can slide that squirrel cooker in like that. I can take the fancy armature, run it up right beside of it, just like that, all the way up here. And then I take that piece of cordage I had left over, come around, come back to the front, tie a quick bow knot, And voila, I have a squirrel cooker that can ride inside the handle of my haversack. Just like that. Now, yeah, that's a little sharp. I need to lengthen out my cord right quick. Just like that, to make it a little more straight lined. But no big deal. Just a second and I'll give you a better shot. That's it on the back. Right there's the bar. Right there's the point. My head cannot reach that. This is hanging off my back right there, so it's not rubbing me. And on this side, you can see it's not touching. I'll give you a better downhill shot of it. I can see a little better myself. Right there. So see, the haversack will ride just like that, and my squirrel cooker rides in that strap right there. Quick and easy. So, in conclusion, if you're going to use one of these squirrel cookers, and these are great camp food cookers, guys. These big ones like Dan had, we put 8-pound roasts on this and just stuck it over fire and cook it for a while, and then after a while you slice off the meat that's done on the outside and just keep cooking it. That way a group of people could eat off of one big hunk of meat. You could do a whole chicken on one of these or something like that. This small one, like I got from my strap, it does smaller hunks of meat. I can still do like a 1 or 2 pound roast on it, or like a whole deer tenderloin or something, and I've done that many times to cook for me. But something like this to go into a bedroll, you need to protect those tines, okay? Because they're designed to pierce meat for a reason, okay? So what you want to do is come up with a cap of some kind that will seal it up and protect you from handling and etc. Because falling on this, stumbling into this in camp, falling out of your hammock onto one of these, bad thing. So the object of the game here is to protect yourself. Blunt that end. Now if your other end is real sharp, see that one's real blunt. You might want to put something on that end as well. But this one, it's those 2 tines I got to worry about. So make you a pair of caps. Find out what will slide over. In my case, it was a writing pen. You may need to go to the hardware store and just take the fork and look for thin tubing, some sort of water tubing or something. Make the 2 pieces that hook and extend at least a 1/4 inch past the tip of the tine. Then put a spacer of some kind between them and wrap the whole thing up with duct tape. You want to get real fancy. After you've made it with the 2 tubes and the cardboard, take a piece of leather and fold it over and make that tie. That would look real cool too, you know. It's up to you and how you do it. Hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Please, if you have, hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.